Hey guys, you're watching Chaotic TV. We are bringing you the 5th game of this best of 5. That's right, the series is tied 2-2. We are on Metropolis, a close by air positions. In the bottom left, we see the blue Terran. The have fun, good game, good luck. He is Empire's Kaz. Trying to get that camera right. And in the bottom right, we have the, bottom right, I don't know where I got that. Top center, we have the red Protoss player. He has kind of messed up in the last game. Those were pretty serious blunders by him, but he is the red Protoss. He is Team Alternates Socke. Mechanical keyboards. Love them, and you know, pretty much they make all of your mistakes even more evident when you click things too much. But anyway, we saw that Kaz learned his lesson well about maxing and then keeping up the pressure on Socke. Socke learned that he needs to put early pressure on Kaz in that first game, and his second win was more Kaz's fault than Socke. So I think it's really Kaz's who's shown that he can do some of the better Terran production that I've seen out of a non-Korean player. And his heavy Ghost play was actually reminiscent of Beyond Prime, formerly Ghost King. And I've actually seen Maru do a little bit of that too, since he's Maru Prime. He learned from Beyond Prime, probably. He's got great Terran tutors like Marine King and Beyond. But so this is really, I think it's Kaz's game to lose. If he, not to deny that Socke is a really good European player, it's just Kaz has showed that he has the production capabilities of one of the better Terrans that I've seen, and his biocentric play, when he can do it, when he can keep up his ghosts, and SCV is running for his life right now. Probe finally runs away because this Marine is going to try to catch up to it ASAP. Anyway, back to the thing. Is there going to be a pylon block? No, but he's still going to keep chasing this Marine, SCV, and the Marine's going to be able to take that probe out with some very decent micro by the Terran player. So the heavy Ghost production of Kaz was a very great thing in that last game. You just saw him doing some decent EMPs. If you have that many Ghosts, a missed EMP is not a big deal. It still knocks out the shields of a couple of Protoss units, and you can always throw out another one really right away. Since he didn't have Cloak and he had that Mobius reactor, he was able to throw out a whole lot of Ghosts. Now, and the Templar had to really decide whether or not they wanted to feedback Ghosts or Templar storm the entire army, and they always went for the storm because there were so many Ghosts that even if they feedbacked all of them, they couldn't click that fast. Even with 600 APM, you can't click that fast, knock out all the Ghosts, and then have enough energy to storm the remainder of the army, which would just wipe out all of the Templar that are stepping forward. But Kaz is going for that heavy production, which I really enjoyed seeing out of him. He learned his lesson early in that first game when he went for that third very quickly without building all of his production. So he's going to build these 4 barracks, he's going to build a factory when he starts getting some gas, and he's going to seriously start his production up. He's going to get his medevacs going, and then he'll build a third. And then we saw that in the last game, when you give him enough time, he builds a huge amount of orbital commands, which I really enjoy because you can start cutting back on your workers and you can start building up your army, which is it's something that a lot of people forget. Big push forward by these Marines. Are not going to be able to catch that Stalker. Stalker runs away. That's right, Stalkers outrun and outdistance Marines, so they are best to micro against. But looks like these Marines are going to catch up to it. Socke didn't move far enough back, and he was able to take the Zelnaga Tower without any kind of problems whatsoever. Another robotics facility coming down for right now. And Socke is going to go back into the Colossus play that we've seen him use in the last couple of games. And Kaz is starting to stack on his gas, so he's going to get a factory. And then he's going to start getting his upgrades if he's at all remembered his last couple wins and what he had to do right to get to them. Both these players are very extremely well balanced macro players. If you go for a timing push out of Socke, you probably would do not so decent on this map since he's already gone for a robotics facility. If you're going for a timing push, you need to really plan out your build. And since he's going for a robotics facility and he's only stacking on 2 more gates behind this, we're not going to see any kind of real pressure out of him, even though Warp Gate is completed. He's just doing this for reinforcement. Koss is going to be the one who puts on a little bit of pressure, trying to snipe some of these probes. The stalkers from both sides are going to be the ones that are doing damage, and the 4 stalkers here are going to wipe out all of these Marines in a very quick fashion. 4 probes have been killed, 5 probes. 6 probes are dead on Koss's side. He pulls all of the remaining ones, and they're still being rallied down. So all the Marines are finally cleaned up. And Koss still has the heavy supply lead. The observer is out. So it's interestingly placed. It's not actually along the line where Socke would see that Koss is coming in. But we do see the robotics bay coming out, and the Marines are going to go home. Not being rallied across the map anymore. But the natural of Koss is completely saturated with 16 on the line, and he has a factory coming down. So looks like Koss is doing what he did in the last game, which I'm really happy to see. Socke is the one who needs to improve this time, and he's going for gas early, which is very good. He doesn't have any upgrades yet, and which is a bit different. We've seen him put down a forge before now in the last game, so maybe he's holding off and getting more army before he gets any upgrades. The observer has seen everything. Pardon my yawn, it is now 5:30 in the morning, and I have to get up for work in 4 hours. So I also have to edit these videos and upload them, so I have to do that before. I'll probably sleep while they're encoding and upload them before work. But looks like where I completely lost my train of thought. Koss is getting his starport, and when in doubt, go back to that production tab. Koss is getting his starport, and he's getting his reactor. He's going to do a little switcheroo and start getting his medevac production up, but he's going to do some pressure before then. He's got some more supply depots coming out, and he's got both players are just kind of doing their own thing. He's really even up on the army supply, and since Socke was able to get some great force fields out, he was able to knock out a couple of Marines, and Koss just runs home with it. He sees that there's Colossus out right now because he doesn't have any extra orbitals. Pardon me. Any extra orbitals to do his scans for him. He has to do some on-the-ground recon, as it were. So both players are kind of still macroing up. We gotta wait for this max race or max VMAX army setup, and little micro forwards would allow these extra units to start attacking there. Now all of the whole army is here to kill off these defending rods and blocking Koss from reinforcing his third base very quickly. And it looks like Socke is going to be the one who pushes across the map. He's starting to bring all of his gateway units. Forgot his Colossi at home. They're moving across the map right now. Third one is rallied in, and he's supply blocked. So there's that. But he's already got his forward pylon started, and when it comes in, it'll help him out with supply. Missile turret's already here. Forward bunker's set up. The factory's there to spot everything, and he's going to go around the long way to try to deal with this. But Koss has already repositioned his units. Oh, I need to go to bed. But this game is so much fun to cast. Big units here, and he's got to really wait for these Colossi before he can start moving forward. He cancels the placement of that forward pylon, and there's a big scan on the Protoss army. He's going to try to cut him off before he can get into that third base. Great force field right here, cutting the army in half, not allowing this back unit to really attack at anything but the Zealots. Continued great force field. Look at the choke on that. Look how much damage these Colossi are doing. The Terran units are completely melting without any medevac. The SCVs are running forward, and he's doing serious economic damage. Has to pull back to his own base, but he's probably going to allow a third, a backdoor type setup here to completely bypass all these defenses if he wanted to. But he's not going to just yet. He's continuing to warp in behind all of this, just a couple of stalkers here and there. And the Colossi are going to start taking out these SCVs with splash damage. See how quickly they're melting, and this bunker is doing what it can to survive, but the Vikings are so low. We need to have more Vikings than there are Colossi out on the map. The medevacs are completely empty of energy, so the stem forward is going to be a detriment to Koss as opposed to Socke. And there are no more medevacs coming out for Koss right now because he's trying to up that Viking number so he can take out these Colossi, which are doing the huge amount of damage to. And if he were able to put his Vikings over this right here, he would probably be able to attack those Colossi without being hit by the by the Stalkers, but he's not using the map to his advantage. You just see how much death there is on the Terran side right now. You just see the huge line of melted, charred bodies. I'm sorry, that's graphic, but it's true. And it looks like Socke doesn't know that there's a third base here, else he would probably just run in and start killing it. The Viking count is up, but there is another Viking coming out, and the minerals are not enough for Katowice right now. He needs to pull some gas to re-up his mineral income since he's lost so many SCVs. And he's got a huge gas bank right now. It's not doing him any good. The medevacs have no energy, and they're not able to heal anything right now. Socke is continuing to reinforce and just keep poking at the Terran army with these Colossi, just seeing how much damage they can do. 13 kills, 21 kills, 15 kills on these Colossi. It's ridiculous how much they have there. The medevacs are empty. The Vikings are being target fired by the Stalkers that are keep warping in, and the Colossi are being Protoss tanks right now. They are doing a huge amount of damage, and this is a hugely effective play by Socke right now. I'm really happy that he was able to do this kind of play. He's using the Colossi like you would want to see Colossi used. This is very powerful right now. You see how much damage the Colossi can do, and he just keeps reinforcing correctly with the right number, right kind of units, especially the target fire on the Vikings. These support units are really support units, knocking out the Viking before getting even a single shot off. It was misrallied to the forward, and Koss is going to have to GG. Such great play in that last game. He wasn't able to ramp up because Socke knows that if you give Koss time, he will do some serious damage. And there is the GG. Socke, remembering his lesson from the first game, constant pressure, and Koss capitulates. Socke takes the series 3-2, and we will see you in another Best of 5 very soon. From Chaotic TV, I'm KO. Thank you so much for watching. Leave comments, please subscribe, and you can always email me at contact@chaotic.tv, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.